welcome to Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World. We're giving you choices and knowledge of those choices to help make your dreams come true. Sundays at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m., Monday mornings at 1 a.m., Wednesdays at 9 a.m., and then Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m., and streaming live at those times at richarddugan.com. We are also podcasting on SoundCloud, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, Player FM, Blueberry, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and a bunch of other sites on the internet, too numerous to mention. So we certainly hope that you will check that out. We also want you to go to YouTube, where you can watch these conversations. Usually that is the case. Today, we continue our series on the streams of consciousness, as written in Streams of Consciousness by LUMARI. Welcome back. Today is a rather auspicious day because of the stream we're going to be talking about. And, of course, the program that was just before us, or the hour that was just before us, LUMARI, we had some good friends of yours as well, Andy and Jonathan Goldman, talking about World Sound Healing Day that takes place every 14th of February. And this is the 22nd annual, and our stream of consciousness, it's amazing how it lined up. We're talking harmony. Welcome.
Thank you, Richard. Oh, what a delight to be here. And yes, what synchronicity and harmonious energies to have the two vibrations coming together today.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's start where we always start, by what is it that we're talking about when we're talking about harmony?
Well, now let me ask you, would you like to read the first part of it like you normally do?
I'm going to let you do that because my screen has not facilitated that just yet.
All right. So the stream of harmony, many tones, countless blessings, roll into a chorus of synchronicity. Voices of awakening converge into infinite, melodious oneness in concert.
Wow.
So when we thank you.
That's pretty cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah. It is. Because you could put it in the context of music, sound, but it goes deeper than that.
Yes. Yeah, it really does. When we think of the frequencies of harmony, it is individuality and wholeness together. So we can look at it like music because it's a good example, but imagine the different people who all have their, I'm going to say, focus, and yet they can come together and have a harmonious oneness, because when we listen to music, and we listen, and some things that's really interesting with harmony too, and since you do music, you know this anyway, it's not always every other note that makes the harmony, and that's that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different ways that harmony comes together that you might think, whoa, that flat note and that other note are together, and that, it's like confuses your brain, but it creates a harmony. It creates a unity of sound, a collective of sound that creates an experience and a sense of oneness. And so when you look at the stream of harmony, it's multi-focused. They're individual and collective energies, right? So it's celebrating individual personal expression and then a cooperative participation, all with divine energy that creates a oneness, a wholeness, a collective. And it becomes very distinct because every harmony is different too.
I remember having the experience in a choral group that I was in when we first moved here to Santa Barbara. And one of the things they talked about that I was fortunate enough to experience was that when you and your other three members of the quartet, which I was a part of as well, when you are all hitting your notes precisely right on the money, there's an underlying tone. It's not one that any one of you as an individual are creating. It's because the collective have joined together and are so unified that there's these other harmonics that you can hear.
Yes. Yes, I'm really glad you brought that up because most people don't understand that the individual notes actually create a collective, which is a different note or different notes, depending on what you're bringing forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're looking at what we understand about harmony in a general sense, because we're also talking vibrationally,
Mm-hmm.
but in a general sense, it's many different things coming together in a beautiful wholeness.
I'll let you go ahead and continue that. Tell me,
Okay.
talk to us, because it's kind of the where we came from, where we're going to kind of thing.
Yes. Well, when we think about it, right? When we think about if we're not using it simply like looking at humans and seeing that aspect, but if we look at nature and we look at, okay, there's different seashells, and then there's fish, and then there's the ocean itself, which everything happens within that ocean if you're an ocean experience. And they come together in a sense of oneness. Well, I can't even imagine how many fish there are. Can't imagine, because there's different kinds of fish, and there's different schools of fish, and then there's colleges of fish. Just kidding. And the energies that move and grow with that. And there's a sense of unity, because when you look at those groups, each group of fish creates a harmony together. And then the different groups of fish, they're all swimming in different areas, and sometimes they pass each other, and that's another level of harmony. And the beauty of it is that the individuality is appreciated and recognized. But the harmony itself is another level of appreciation and awareness of each specific aspect in relationship to the whole, or to all of it. So there's an interrelatedness, and then there's a wholeness, a collaborative expression, if you will.
We're talking with Lumari. Lumari.com is the website. We're talking about Streams of Consciousness. That's the title of the book. And we're talking about today's stream on this, the day of February 14th, the World Sound Healing Day that we talked about in our last hour of Tell Me Your Story. And we're talking about harmony. And it seems as though there is a lot of disharmony. But I've also heard, I'm sure you've heard this phrase too, and I'm not sure if this relates, if this is having to do with physics or something like that, order out of chaos, or chaos out of order, or those kinds of things. As far as the universe, I mean, some people might look at the universe and the way things are moving around and everything and say, oh my gosh, what chaos, when in reality, I would think that the universe is in perfect harmony. It's doing what the universe does.
I would say yes. I think chaos is a good word to describe things we don't know, and we don't know how they move together. So aside from the science of it, which there is a whole theory, et cetera, about chaos. I think there's a chaos theory. But chaos is things moving and interacting with no particular understandable order. So it kind of blasts in all different directions with no, I'm just going to say, discernible order, because there's a reason behind it, but we just don't know it. There's a pattern there for some reason, but we just don't know it. So the chaos is about us not knowing what's happening when we're observing it. Now, chaos can exist in harmony. Because if we don't understand, or just because we don't understand what notes, what vibrations, what energies, what vortexes are showing up, that doesn't mean that there isn't a harmony between them or among them, or a harmony in the greater unity of all of them happening. Because a lot of the things that we look at and we distinguish, we don't necessarily open to the perspective of harmony. And it's a beautiful perspective to come from.
There are even harmonics, even in, if I'm remembering some of my, I don't know, it's music theory, but things I've learned, even in the discordant chords,
Yeah.
there is a kind of harmony in there. And
Exactly.
And so if you have discordant chords, don't write it off as, oh my God, that sounds awful. Pause for a moment and listen, because you never know what you might hear.
Well, and that's the thing. And when we're looking at it, there's certain things, if we're using music as an example, then there's certain things that we could look at in music. If we're looking at like specific tones of a choir, then some of them are very, I would say, classic. There's certain chords that when you all sing them together and the violins play and everything, it's classic. And then if we look at other things that we would say are discordant, and maybe I'm just using the example of jazz, because that doesn't always fit the classic harmony, but that doesn't mean it's not harmony. It means that we haven't understood it yet, and we're not looking at it in that way. Because each and everything is harmonious together if we can understand it and appreciate it.
Mm.
Now, we're not talking about like the things that are going on in the world that are harmonious and not harmonious. We're talking about higher frequencies of this.
Right.
And that's a whole other thing. And so when we're looking at harmony is a resonance, it's a vibration, where, as an example, one voice blends with the greater energy, the greater form, the greater focus. And each sound, each tempo, each strength creates a wholeness that is a harmony. And so I'm going to read something from the book just because it's a way of capturing this.
Mm-hmm.
The voices of the stars sing with the voices of the crickets and the calls of the coyotes. There is a rhythm and a melody to all creation, and a rhythm and a melody that unifies all creation. This is the vibratory pattern of the stream of harmony.
Mm. There are devices. One that comes to my mind is a tuning fork, for example. I know that Andy and Jonathan Goldman, that's one of their things that they feature, and they talk about as well. I also know a gentleman here in Santa Barbara who plays the glass cups. You know what I'm talking about?
I sure do.
And those sounds that come from those particular items, a little more unusual, and there are lots of all kinds of different unusual instruments out there.
Yeah.
But in this case, you can make so many different harmonics, if you will. But I what just came to my mind was back in the 80s. Do you remember when they used to talk about, and maybe you could talk a little bit about this maybe in the present day, you remember then they were promoting, especially within the New Age and metaphysical communities, the harmonic convergence?
Oh, the harmonic concordance?
Yeah.
Yes.
First of all,
well,
go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you.
I was just going to ask you if you would elaborate from your perspective on what that was and or is, and how it reflects upon us, how it impacts us?
Well, when we're, again, it is, now this is way more cosmic than we are used to looking at. But this was a vibrational and astrological alignment that came together where the stars in the universe created a harmony together. And there was meaning for different aspects of the conjunctions and everything else. But what was being significant about this was that there was a harmony as opposed to an opposition or a contrast. There was a harmony between all of these aspects coming together. And then vibrationally, for our planet and our people on the planet, there was an energy that was uplifting if you wanted to tune into it. Because remember, a lot of this is about choice. If you want to tune into the harmony, if you wanted to tune into the possibilities, they were present. And you could. And it's really the beauty of all of our lives is that there are choices. And I'm not talking about like big life-changing choices that either went one way or the other way, which we have those too. But in the moment, choosing harmony and noticing the many things that come together to create a wholeness, and you're part of it, that's a whole other way of looking at things.
Extraordinary. I mean, and isn't that what these different frequencies are? I guess I could put it this way. That's what they're there for?
Yes. Perfect. Yes, Richard. The one thing about the streams of consciousness that was brilliantly created for all of us is, and there's 12 streams of consciousness, and I'm going to say everybody get this book because it is an experiential book, and you're going to understand it even deeper than Richard and I's fabulous conversation about it. But when you look at it, every single stream is in harmony with every other stream, so that vibrationally what is most heartfelt to each of us, or the way we think or the way we be, we may have a different stream that resonates more comfortably with us. But they all resonate together in a wholeness with a connection with the divine. That's what it's about. So that was a beautiful, reminder and celebration of what we're talking about, Richard. So thank you.
One of the things that I have tried to listen for, I don't know if you may have done this, I know you're aware of it, and that is the harmonics of the planet. If you can find a quiet enough place, and it's not easy to do these days, but it is not impossible, you can actually hear the tone, if you will, the hum of the planet.
It's so wonderful, the amount of things we can do, and they actually have implements that will help you listen to it if your brainwave doesn't connect with it in a more audible way. There are instruments that you can do. I'm not talking about guitars. I'm talking about, instruments that they've created so you can actually listen to the harmony of this planet, the tones that our planet makes. And it's very interesting because there's a lot of things on our planet. Trees actually make sounds. And I'm not talking about the leaves blowing.
Right.
But there's a vibration to the density of the trunk that reaches up in beautiful branches and embraces the light and creates everything through it. There's a tone about them. And the harmony that we can bring together when we open our perspective to notice and appreciate the different notes. I'm just going to use the word note because it's easy. The notes of the conversations that are around us. We know that there's other conversations that we don't want to participate in. And so I'm not actually saying that they're in harmony with harmony. But what I am saying is how much can we tune into that is harmony is way bigger than all the contrast that's out there. Way bigger.
Mm.
And actually look at your own mind and see how many different thoughts resonate with each other. I'm not talking about like beliefs in whether you believe this is right or this is right. I'm talking about like your thoughts. All of a sudden your thought is coming in and you're going, oh, I love the sun. Whoa, look at how it shines on the ground. Ooh, I'm feeling warmer. Oh, look at the sunbeams. Like, oh, the birds are singing. Like, they're all those thoughts are in harmony.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a wholeness in your thinking, and the thoughts come in and become part of that. So there's so many different ways to recognize harmony. And if we're talking music, there's, like you said, quartets, and then there's huge symphonies and choirs. And vibrationally, we can have a global symphony, because we're talking about Jonathan Goldman and that music and everything.
Yeah.
For, you know, like we can create a global harmony. And what's beautiful about harmony is the vibration is embracing and honoring. There's nothing isolated from harmony. The stream of harmony, everything holds the presence of the divine, and it has an energy and a teaching. And whether you're, you know, a conscious being, a mineral, you know, a particle, there's all a harmonic relationship. And it's equally sacred. There's not one that's better than the other. It creates a unity. It creates a group presence. And harmony reveals the beauty and the importance of each individual in the wholeness.
What is it that you suggest to both myself and those people listening to help to bring, I guess I'll go ahead and use the full phrase, this stream of harmony into our lives?
Oh, thank you for asking that one. So first, again, if you read the book, if you get the book, or I will say it this way, when you get the book, there's conversations about the streams, and then there are practices that you can do in the book. You can call forth each stream. So I show you how to do it. You can read it in the book. I also have audio meditations on my website that you can download from it as well, right? And there's different chants that you can do to create the harmony for each of the streams. And part of that is also channeled with the language of creation, Alawashka, which is the language I have been gifted to channel for our world. And we can move into that energy of harmony. And so that is the most gorgeous vibrational way to do it, is connecting with the book, reading it, receiving the blessings and the energies from the book, doing the practices. Now, if you want to start opening yourself to explore what harmony is in, I'm going to say, a more practical way, even though I'm still talking about vibrations. And that is to start noticing the many different things that still create beauty in your life. And you can do it any different way. You can look at the lunch that you're eating and see all the different things on the plate, and they're all harmonious because you love them all and you're going to eat them all. I mean, that's practical. But vibrationally, it is more than that, because you've created a whole thing to nourish your body and your being. And all of these things go together. And you can look at the things that you love in your life and start really appreciating them and how they come together in a harmony for your own personal wholeness. Now, when you want to go to the expansive, vibrational, spiritual energy of it, which, again, is gorgeous. It's transformational. It's uplifting. It's joyful. In the book, there are, after you've read it and you really understand and connect with each stream, in the book, there are invocations and blessings so that you can actually say the words that will resonate with the stream and feel it vibrate through your whole body and being.
You know, I like this here that I'm reading in reference to the personal vision inspired by the stream of harmony. You may see the world and see your life as many parts that create a wholeness. You may at times feel the parts as separate, and you know the separated parts create the whole of you, and you have many talents and perspectives. You move to combine them in a harmony, a richness that encourages all of your gifts to flow together. It's one of the interesting things is that, and maybe this goes back to that concept that we hear quite often when sports people talk about being in the zone. They're in harmony with their surroundings. They're in harmony with their bodies and their minds, and everything is just working to create the kind of, shall we say, outcome or result that they desire. And again, it doesn't matter. It's not about the winning and the losing. It's about being in that flow, isn't it? Because there is a flow when you're talking about harmony.
Yes, and you can use any example. So obviously we can use the one about singing, and when you look at individuals and you look at groups, you can be in harmony. To really be a musician, a singer, that whole world, you need to be in harmony with yourself and then in harmony with the group that you're with. If you're a dancer, you need to be in harmony with your body because your body is your instrument, and you need to be in harmony with everybody that's there, the whole production. When you're talking about it outside of the arts, when I was talking with somebody who's like way big tech person, and I was telling them that I think people who are the techies are creatives. Now, other people will think of them as, techies, right? Like all of the analytical stuff. And I was having a fun conversation because I was blowing his mind because he was agreeing with me and he wasn't happy about it.
I hate when that happens.
Well, I know. Well, creative are given a certain spaciness about who they are, right? That's a concept. And I was like, no. You're in this technical world, these numbers, these letters, these things that I don't even know what they are. They're all coming together, and you're just like circling around, organizing them, and then bringing them into form. And I was like, guess what a painter does? Guess what a musician does? They do the same thing. You're a creative, bringing all these different things together to create something in harmony that you bring forward. So I don't know how you create software. No clue. But I know that when you're in that technical zone, all of those little things, whatever they are, because I don't even know what they are, they put them all together and all of a sudden something's there.
Well,
I can understand how you put a painting together.
Yeah.
Different. I understand how I channel my books and do my consultations with my clients because to work with my clients, or I like to say to play, I am in harmony with many different vibrational levels of who they are, so that when we're having our conversations and our coaching and our readings and spiritual experiences, there's a harmony there.
When you think of harmony, when you fall into having or feel into having harmonious solutions, opportunities, and collaborations to uplift our world, what does this inspire in you? And that's part of that whole process. I know that in these times in which most all of us are living right now, we're all looking for inspiration. And on the one hand, yeah, it is all around us. But on the other hand, it's within you, especially when you tap into this stream of harmony, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, an inspiration is, I like to say it's a conversation. For me, it's the divine tapping me, going, "Lumari, guess what?" And then something shows up, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, for me, also, there's the one part of my own being. I am creative. I love writing. I've written several books. I have a background as a sculptor. I actually have some songs that I've done, and you can get them. It's Emerge Dancing. They're all Alawashka songs that I've sung. I don't necessarily think of myself as a musician because I come from a musical family, but that is music with vibrations in it. And so when I look at inspiration like that, that is one way of putting all of these different things. But all of those things are still harmonious to me. So I can be writing a book, which I'm writing several at the moment. I'm actually writing 3 different books, and I'm in harmony with today's this one. Oh, this one's calling me to do this. Oh, I'm inspired to do this. Because I want to receive the message.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, other people don't think my way. But I feel if the divine is tapping me on the shoulder and saying, "Lumari, ooh," right, because whatever the inspiration is, like, I'm not going to say, "Excuse me, I have to write out my checks now."
Yeah.
I'm going to stop and go, "Show me.
Yeah.
I'm here."
Yeah.
And unless it's in a very inopportune time, then I will just say, "Can we come back to this, please?" And I will hear whether we can or not.
Yeah.
I have my own rules. Like, I don't want to be overwhelmed when I'm driving. It's a thing.
Yeah.
But you don't ignore the inspiration.
No. So much can be created from that inspiration. I was going to use the word gain, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about creating, and we can do that. We can do that. Create when we are in this harmonic or harmonious relationship with self and nature and the divine and so forth.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, one of the things that went through my mind just a moment ago had to do with when my buddy Smokey, I call him, but his name is Doug, and I would get together again some 40 years ago in a radio station that I worked for, and I would put a reel up and I would set it up in record mode, but I would be listening to the playback of it that would then create what's called reverb or echo. Sometimes they're kind of one and the same, but anyway. And we were doing this around Christmas time, and I loved singing Silent Night, for example. And I would draw out the notes, and of course that echo would go on and on and on. It was so cool. It was an incredible sound that made. And it felt so good, And I felt like it was, I don't know that it was necessarily harmonious or harmony per se, but that tone resonated with me.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, we don't want to be so linear about any of the strings. But we don't want to be linear about what harmony means. Because then you're looking at it like, okay, you've got these X amount of notes that can only be played with these notes, and they can't vibrate too long because if you shift keys and go into another, whatever, we don't want to play there.
Mm-mm.
We can create harmony and be in harmony. There are really simple actions of being within yourself and just being whole and embracing who you are. And just walking in the world like that, you're going to be different with people. they're going to notice that actually when you look at them, you're not really trying to look past them. You're actually looking at them. That is acknowledgement.
Right.
You know, that is like recognizing, you know, all of the different things. Like, and being in harmony with yourself and in the situation. And when you start to think of what harmony is in all of these different things, then all of a sudden you can create more harmony in your life because you can look at things that, I'll just say, you've outgrown. They don't really work for you anymore. They're not creating a harmonious experience. And you can look at them and say, well, I guess I need to look at it in a different way so that I'm back in harmony, or this, I don't want to play there anymore. I'm not happy doing that. And when you recognize any of those perspectives, you're creating greater harmony in your life.
Absolutely. Lumari is my guest here on the program as we go through the 12 streams of consciousness from her book, Streams of Consciousness, available through her website, Lumari. She's a gifted, internationally acclaimed intuitive life coach, creative creation catalyst, a conscious channel, and a vibrational avatar who has guided thousands of people worldwide to awaken and live their higher soul's calling. She has a free gift for you. You can receive this from Lumari. It's personal sacred space meditation. It helps you to feel clear and whole, connected to your deeper self, and in touch with your own energy, vision, and purpose. Of course, we're doing the 12 streams of consciousness, but she has some other books as well. She's made reference to Alawaska, the original language and vibrational source of creation. Experience the true resonance, speaking of harmony, the resonance of creation. Feel the amazing energy and profound spiritual openness of Alawaska, the original language and vibrational source of creation. You can learn about the true nature of humanity and your own birthright. You can engage the lights. Let's see here. Engage the lights of awakening, revelation, and transformation. Imagine what your everyday could look like if you were living inspired, which is part of what we're talking about here. Collective Keepers of Divine Expression by Lumari, and her books offer clear insights from the creative keepers. From the collective keepers, reveals the secrets of the ancient system that contains the wisdom of the ages. And as I said before, we started out with, talking about the book itself, and it's hard to believe, Lumari, that we're already into week 6 of our conversation about this. And people certainly can go to your website, lumari.com, LUMARI.com, to find out more about you and get in touch with you, maybe have a session with you, and take a hold of those free gifts that she's offering.
Yes, definitely. And the personal sacred space meditation does put you in a sacred space of harmony for yourself.
Well, as we wrap up this session of Tell Me Your Story with Lumari, talking about the streams of consciousness, I like to go here. First of all, let's take a quick look. There's a blessing at the end of every single one of these streams. And in this case, for harmony, the blessings of the stream of harmony. May you feel and know the interrelatedness of all beings as a collaborative expression. May you celebrate the interweaving of individual aspects into a congruent and singular arrangement. May you know the vibratory resonance that expresses this divine arrangement of infinite variety and participation. What can we take away from this conversation regarding this stream of harmony, I don't want. What comes to my mind, and I'll go ahead and utter it. What's in it for us?
Well, what's really funny is it is in us, and we're in it. So we're in it for us anyway, because harmony is your participation in a collaborative expression. So you get to see the wholeness, and you get to see the diversity, and you get to embrace the container where it all happens. And so, in part of that blessing, it is as a collaborative expression. So when you actually recognize in your own life that what you are doing is still a collaboration, even if you're in your house by yourself, you're collaborating with the universe. You're part of all of it. So having a noticing, and even I might use the word intention or focus, that you want to be in greater harmony, you can start to see all of the things that already bring harmony to you, and then you can increase them. And then you can share them.
And quite honestly,
no one shared the symphony.
Yeah.
Like we were just in a room and there was no audience. And no one ever knew what a symphony was.
Yeah. Wow.
We are that symphony.
Yes, we are. And quite honestly, we do need to share that symphony. Matter of fact, I love when I was privileged to sit with a group of people here in Santa Barbara at the Granada Theater, and it was the Santa Barbara Orchestra, and they were doing the composer Mahler and Mahler's Fifth Symphony. And I still remember listening to it thinking, this guy is schizophrenic because it keeps going fast and slow and fast and loud and soft and loud. And I remember talking with the violinists afterwards, and they said, oh, yeah, we here in the violin section especially, we refer to Mahler's Fifth as the Hurt Locker, because there are times when it is so frenetic. It's beautiful. It's harmonic. They're all unified in their playing. And it's just wonderful, the creativity. I can only imagine how he was connected with the stream of harmony, and how he was inspired to write this incredible piece.
Yes. And you just look at the music, and then you look at every single musician, and guess what? Different musicians play it at different times, and it's the same symphony, and it sounds different every single time, and the conductor brings it to us differently every single time, and it's all in harmony.
Well, as we bring this particular episode to a close, dealing with the stream of harmony from the book Streams of Consciousness, available through LUMARI.com as well as Amazon, and the Audible is, it's coming, folks, it's coming. It'll be fun to listen to that. Share with us some closing comments about the stream of consciousness.
The streams themselves, or would you like harmony? You choose.
Harmony.
Okay. So think of harmony in your life as a beautiful relatedness, that each thought is a note that plays together and sounds together in a oneness. You don't even have to notice which thought comes, which feeling comes. It's all in harmony within you. And then feel that energy, that you can move it into your life, into your relationships, into your community, and recognize and acknowledge each note, each person is part of the universe and part of our unity. And in harmony, we get to recognize and appreciate all of that oneness. And for you personally, when you look at harmony within yourself, you're bringing everything together in ways that appreciate your individuality and your contribution to the world. And that is a beautiful open space to celebrate yourself and for us to celebrate you.
Well, I will tell you that because it's something I'm doing these days, I'm cutting up an oak tree that has fallen. And in that act, I actually do feel as though I am in harmony with nature by recycling and so forth. Lumari, thank you so much for joining us again.
Oh, Richard, thank you so much. And blessings, everyone. It's an honor and a delight to be with you today. Thank you.
And until our next broadcast, podcast, videocast of Tell Me Your Story, New Paradigms for a New World, love to Lal, Jeanette, I am still listening. Dad, continue to be happy. Smokey, I will see you on the other side. To my dear friend Zorro, aho, aho.